everybody. This week's story is called Amazing Animals. Amazing Animals is an informational text. An informational text gives us facts about the topic. The topic of this book is Amazing Animals. So we're going to read to find information about some amazing animals. As we read, think about the words and how they give us clues to new information. Animals get a lot of help as they grow up. Let's find out about 8 amazing animals. An informational text usually has interesting features that help us learn more about the topic. This says big eyes, and then there's a picture of a camel, and we can see its big eyes. This picture says long beak, and then in the photograph, we can see how long the beak of the duckling is. This one says thick fur, and then we can see the polar bear's fur. This one says big squeak. We can't hear the dolphin, but the word squeak tells us what sound a dolphin makes. Here's the heading. It says polar bear. The heading tells me that we are going to learn interesting facts about a polar bear. A polar bear has thick fur. Each hair is like a tube. The hair has no color like glass. The sun makes it look white. How does thick fur help the polar bear? Well, what information can we get from the pictures before we read more? I see the polar bear laying in the snow. When I go out in the snow, I wear a thick coat to keep me warm. Maybe the thick hair helps to keep the polar bear warm. Let's read to find out more. Thick fur helps polar bears stay warm. The color of their fur looks like the same as snow. This helps them hide. Where does this cute polar bear like to hide? Well, the words don't tell me, but I can look in the photograph. In the photograph, I see a small polar bear standing underneath its mother. So I think the polar bear likes to hide under its mother. Here's a new heading. It says elephant. That means this part of the book will give us information about elephants. An elephant has a long nose. The nose is called a trunk. It takes many years for an elephant to grow 2 big teeth. The teeth are called tusks. How do tusks and a trunk help? Well, in the photograph, I can see the trunk reaches the ground. So maybe the trunk helps the elephant pick things up off the ground. We're going to have to read to find out more. Elephants use their tusks to scrape bark off trees. I wonder what the word scrape means. I'm going to read it again to see if there are any clues in the text. Elephants use their tusks to scrape bark off trees. Well, when you scrape something, you take it off. So maybe the tusks help them scrape or take off bark from trees. Well, if the tusks can scrape or take off bark from trees, the tusks must be very hard. Let's read to see if we can learn more. I'm going to start from the beginning again, now that I understand what the words tusks and scrape mean. Elephants use their tusks to scrape bark off trees. Then they eat the bark. These elephants are learning to use their trunks to get water. Sometimes they will spray water at a friend. The photograph is a picture of two elephants spraying water. So the photograph helps me understand how elephants use their tusks or trunks to spray water. There's a new heading. This heading says camel. I know this part of the book is going to teach me interesting facts about camels. Some camels have one hump. Some have two. All camels have 2 rows of eyelashes. How do humps and thick eyelashes help? Well, I'm not sure yet. In the photograph, though, I can see what a hump looks like on a camel. This camel has 1 hump, but I still don't know why they have thick eyelashes. Let's keep reading to find out. A camel's hump has fat inside. On long trips, a camel's body uses the fat for food. A camel's eyelashes keep out the desert sand. Hey, I did see a bunch of sand in the photograph of the camel. So the eyelashes keep the sand from blowing in the camel's eyes. This baby camel will follow his mother when the herd goes from place to place. Now let's read about a duck. There's the heading that says duck. So we know this part of the book is going to teach us interesting facts about ducks. A duck is a bird. It has 2 feet, and each foot has 3 toes. A duck has a beak too. How do feet and a beak help? I'll have to keep reading to find out how feet and a beak help, but the photograph shows me the beak and what it looks like, and I can see under the water that there are 1, 2, 3 toes on the duckling's foot. Photographs are so helpful. They're my favorite part of an informational text. Ducks use their feet to swim in the water or walk on land. They use their beaks to eat plants and bugs. Look, this duck uses her beak to clean her friend. The photograph shows the 2 ducklings. This duckling is cleaning his friend with the beak. Now let's read about giraffes. I know this part is about a giraffe because the heading says giraffe. A giraffe has spots. A giraffe has a long neck. How do spots and a long neck help? Well, in the photograph, I can see the giraffe eating from a tall tree. Its neck is long enough that it carries its head up to the tree. So I think a giraffe's neck helps it eat leaves off of tall trees. Let's read to see if we're right. A giraffe's spots help it hide. A giraffe's long neck helps it reach the leaves of trees. The giraffe's long neck helps her reach her baby. She gives him a big kiss. I can see it now. Look how long the giraffe's neck is, but it can reach all the way over to the baby. If the giraffe had a short neck, he wouldn't be able to give his baby a kiss. Now let's read about a porcupine. This heading says porcupine. That's how I know this part of the book is going to teach me interesting facts about a porcupine. A porcupine has soft quills when it is born. The quills get sharp in a day or two. How do quills help? I know from the real world that porcupines have pointy quills and they can get stuck in people or animals. But I don't know how that helps the porcupine. We'll have to read to find out. Quills keep a porcupine safe. If an animal begins to come close, the porcupine backs into it. The sharp quills hurt. Quills tell this cub to stay away. If a porcupine poked me with its sharp quills, I would definitely stay away. So the quills help keep the porcupine safe from danger by poking something that's coming to hurt it. Let's read about turtles. How did we know this part was about turtles? That's right, the heading told us. A turtle has a shell that is very hard. How does a hard shell help? I wonder what something hard would help me. Well, when I ride my bike, I wear a helmet that's hard and it protects my head. Maybe the shell protects the turtle. A turtle can hide inside its shell from an animal that may hurt it. The turtle waits until the animal goes away. Then the turtle comes back out. You're safe now, turtle. We were right. Because I knew the turtle had a hard shell, and I knew that I wear a hard helmet when I ride my bike to protect my head, I can know that a hard shell could protect a turtle. Let's read about dolphins. A dolphin's tail has two parts called flukes. A dolphin has two flippers. How do tail flukes and flippers help? I've seen dolphins swim before, so I know their flippers help them swim, but I'm not sure how their tail flukes help them. Let's read to find out. A dolphin flips its tail flukes up and down to swim fast. It uses its flippers to turn left or right. These two dolphins swim away fast. Who will be first? Have fun, dolphins! So the tail flukes help the dolphins swim faster, and the flippers help the dolphin turn left or right. I think this dolphin's going to win. In the story Amazing Animals, we used evidence or information from the text to draw conclusions. A conclusion was the answer we thought we found. I hope you enjoy this story about amazing animals. I'll share the link for this book in the Google Classroom in case you want to read it on your own.